Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man. Well, look, 7-1, Texas Tech. They split their tough non-conference games leading up to this big showdown with Gonzaga. They're in the top 25 for the first time. Just before we break down the Gonzaga game, which is noon Saturday, it's going to be on CBS. Just where do you think the Red Raiders are right now as we sit here?
They're in a pretty good spot. I mean, if you had asked me before the season at this point, 7-1, ranked 25 in the country, I said, yeah, all right, I'll take that. So not bad at all. Look, the Tennessee game was impressive. That shows what this team
defensively
can do. Yeah, but Tennessee is quite possibly the best defensive basketball team in the college game right now. Sure. I'm not saying Tech's offense is all world or anything like that. They have room to improve in a lot of areas there, but Tennessee had something to do with the struggles there. And bottom line is Tennessee is a very, very tough team.
Yeah.
This is a team that, as an outside shot, I think is a Final Four team, but definitely an Elite Eight type of a team possibly. And for Tech to beat those guys, that validates this team. That gives me a lot more confidence than I had going into that game. Arkansas State after that was arguably a little bit of a step back, but nothing major, I think. The Tennessee game is the one that you want to fixate on as to what this team is capable of doing. And, it's a good indicator. And so now you've got Gonzaga, and, look, you hang with Gonzaga, you don't necessarily have to beat Gonzaga. It'd be nice. But if you don't do it, if you're right there, you're pushing them late in the game, then even if you lose, you're feeling like, okay, we're ready to roll. This is a real club here. This is a good team. And so altogether, I'm feeling pretty good about things.
I hate to be Captain Obvious, but I can't help it. As a basketball fan, I'm intrigued by, obviously, Gonzaga's interior presence against Tech and how Tech does against them. Because you're not going to find a better 1-2 punch, and probably even more, that Gonzaga has in terms of length and ability, right?
Yeah, Timmy, obviously, he may be the favorite right now for the Player of the Year, the Naismith Award. Mm-hmm. He's right up there. He's in the running for that. Then you got this Chet Holmgren guy, who's kind of like the white minute bowl. He's a foot taller than me, and he weighs the same amount. Right. He's 195. He's
like Sean Bradley's best life. If he was living his best basketball life, that's what he is, right?
That's it, man. That's it. And the problem, but all joking aside, because it's very serious when you go inside against this guy. It is no joke.
Yeah,
he blocks about 4 shots a game. Yeah. And that is the main reason that this Gonzaga team is a little bit different from ones you've seen in the past. Like the one that Tech played that got them to the Final Four. They beat them, right? Mm-hmm. Gonzaga has always been known for the offense, for the explosiveness, for the firepower. And they've still got some of that, but they're more of a defensive team now than they have been in the past. They're much better defensively, and so much of that is because of Holmgren.
Yeah.
And what just how much of a difference does it make when you have that rim protector back there? And he's just about the best in the country. He may be the best.
So you think Batcho's ready to go toe to toe with him?
Well, he better be,
because he's gonna have to play a lot, right? Common sense thinks
Yeah, and he is playing a lot. You need him to improve, and you'd hope that he has his best game against this guy. You're not gonna. The guy's gonna have his success.
Sure.
You can't let him freak you out with the shot blocks and just kind of throw you off your rhythm and intimidate you too much. You got to keep on going at him. Hey, if you can somehow manage to get him into a little bit of foul trouble, that's going to help your cause tremendously. That's where somebody like a Bryson Williams would come into play, because he does have some skill down there on the block, some moves. He can get to the hoop a little bit, and maybe you get lucky and you put a couple of fouls on him early, and he doesn't affect the game for the entire 40 minutes or whatever. So that would help your cause.
You brought up Williams. I've been disappointed in his like as the competition's improved, obviously his offensive game, it kind of reminded me of Norrance. Do you remember as a freshman?
Yeah.
Like when they started off in non-conference and he was the leading scorer, but by the time they got to the Big 12, he was almost a non-factor offensively.
Right.
Obviously, Bryson Williams isn't a freshman, and they have different games. But I'm just saying, it kind of reminds me of that same kind of, change in production.
Yeah, could be. And you just hope that there is a period of readjustment. Because you were going against the tomato cans. Then you get Providence in Tennessee. It's a little bit of a shock.
Providence there, too.
Providence
Big
there.
East,
Yes, absolutely. That was a very tough game. That's a good team they played.
Yeah.
And so, there is this period of readjustment now that you're playing these tougher teams, but maybe he will adjust and get it together. Because, when he was at UTEP, he had some success playing against some big boys before. So he's capable of doing it, I think. So we're just going to see how long it's going to take for him to readjust to this level of competition. And, obviously they'll need him against Gonzaga.
Every year except for except for those 2 years when they went to the Elite Eight and they ran into Villanova, of course, won the championship. And then when they went to the national championship game and, were within seconds of winning it all, it seems like there's some kind of fatal flaw where you're like, did you know this is going to end up ending them? And to me, and something that you mentioned from a month or two before the season, was that the lack of a true point guard and ball handler. And I got to tell you, from just a pure basketball fan, sometimes it's really tough to watch Texas Tech play for me. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Kevin McCullough, he has actually, I think, improved some.
Yeah.
But still, you're like, oh, you're just waiting for him to turn it over,
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit of an adventure. And look, Malik Wilson, talk about the guy who didn't adjust.
Man, and he's hurt, right? Didn't you read about him?
He's got some sort of a knee that may be scoped, so he may be out 2 to 3 weeks. Clarence Dodoli, I'm afraid, just doesn't have it right now.
Yeah,
this is a little bit beyond him. You
that
can't
air ball, man, in the Tennessee
from the free throw line. And he's just he just doesn't know where he's going with the ball too often. So it's what it's going to come down to is you got McCullough and Adonis Arms as your point guards from here on out, I think, basically. And I actually like Adonis at the point. I really do. Both him and McCullough they've got quite a few more assists than turnovers. They're not like 2 to 1 or better ATO ratio.
Right.
But they're not terrible either. But, look, it's in their court right now. The ball is with them. Yeah. They're the primary ball handlers from here on out. They definitely need to, just accept that fact and really, really work on becoming the floor generals for this team heading on through, because it's in their hands right now. And we'll see how they do with that, and if they improve. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Arms will be doing at this position, because he's going to be playing point guard a lot from here on out, because Nadoli isn't there, Malik Wilson is out. It's him and McCullough, basically.
How is Shannon right now with his health? You mentioned his back.
Yeah,
that's concerning.
That is back spasms. I don't think he was anywhere near 100% the entire night against Arkansas State. Because, he had a rough first half. He didn't really do much anything. He played 13 minutes or 15 minutes, but just wasn't a factor. That back must have been bothering him the entire way, and then he just played 20 seconds of the second half, and that was it. So it's back spasms. This is something that he's had
painful
for a long time now. When I've watched him play, I thought, man, am I seeing things? Because it looks like he's in pain.
Yeah.
It looks like he's hurting. And a lot of times, he's like shuffling. He's
not taking
looks like
steps. An old man steps,
Exactly. But then freaks you out because he explodes like Michael Jordan or something. You're like, oh, well,
It's like Jim Brown. You ever watch old tape of Jim Brown?
Right.
He would, do his Jim Brown stuff, and then you actually gang tackle him, and he lays there like he's, out for the count, gets up really slow, then he runs over you again,
Yep, Earl Campbell did that too.
Did he? Okay.
Yes, he did. And so, but the back spasms have been with him for quite some time. They're probably not going to go away. Hope they got a good chiropractor, trainer, or whatever it is, masseuse,
cryo chambers.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff so sophisticated.
They're like Han Solo. They freeze them. No, no, those cryo chambers are supposed to, like, I've never done it, but they're supposed to be the real deal.
Well, whatever the cutting edge is, the state of the art, Texas Tech.
They have it at the Womble.
Yeah,
thanks to Mr. Womble there and other
that's
generous
right. So Shannon's in good hands in that regard. He'll get the best treatment possible, and that's all you can do.
All right. Well, we've come time for me putting you on the spot against Gonzaga. What's going to be the keys? And you don't have to predict if you want to, but just what does Tech need to do to pull off the upset?
Well, probably it's more what Tech does than anything else. Gonzaga is going to score some points. Yeah. Even though they're a little bit more defensive oriented, they still have guys who can put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to score some points too. Your defense can hold them down a little bit, but listen, man, you got to score. And you're not scoring if you're turning the ball over.
Yeah.
This has been the issue. They turned it over 15 times against Arkansas State.
Oh, man.
And that's
too much.
3 straight games where they turned it over 15, 16, 17, right around there. You need to get that down to 10. That's what they're shooting for. So, that's going to be it. I think this is going to be a close game. And every single possession is going to matter. You can't afford to forfeit those possessions with turnovers. So, McCullough and Arms, they got to be on their game.
Yeah.
On that side of things, making good decisions. It's not just about being solid with the ball. It's about not making ill-advised passes.
Right.
Because they do that sometimes. So, and look, Mark Few has seen the same things that we're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
They know exactly what's going on at the guard position. They're going to test them.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to put the pressure
on them. Yeah.
So how do they handle that? Will probably go a long ways in determining whether Tech has a real shot at winning.
That'd be nice if Tech knocked down more open threes. I feel like they're getting good shots and just not knocking them down the way. Just a quality, Big 12 team should, to be honest.
Yeah, O'Banner's been a little bit of a problem there.
He's been a bust. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's just, the guy's out of sorts, man.
Yeah.
He's not in sync. He doesn't look comfortable. He's not confident. He's not aggressive. This is a guy who's floating around on the perimeter. He's 6'9" or so.
Yeah.
Great big body. He needs to have a more diversified game.
Okay.
He started out the season banging inside, getting some offensive rebounds and putbacks. I think that's what he's got to go back to, get some confidence.
And then step back out.
Because,
I agree.
Look, if you're just hanging out there, man, you're easy to defend. Yeah. You're not taxing the defense very much. That's another issue there. And it would be great if he could bounce back against Gonzaga.
The good thing about this is we're talking about all these issues, and they're 7-1. They did beat Tennessee at Madison Square Garden. Everything's right there. Their ceiling is considerably higher than what they're playing at right now.
Right.
So potential is there. This is a great litmus test. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do measure up against, obviously, a really good Gonzaga team. So we'll see.
Yeah. Program history, series history, if that counts for anything, Tech is 3-0 against Gonzaga.
Hey, there you go.
We got their number, right? The deal is, Mark Few's probably chomping at the bit on that one a little bit as well. These guys have beat us 3 straight times. This has got to end here and now. So, they may have a little bit of an edge in this game.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a good game, like you said. I feel like it's going to be entertaining. There's a lot of if you like basketball, this should be a really entertaining game for you, even if you don't care about either team necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of interesting aspects to this game. So I can't wait to see it. I know Mighty Joe can't wait to see it. We've had this one circled for this one, and of course the Texas matchups. For a while now. But Mighty Joe, man, great stuff from you as always.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and until next time.